What does an average person rely on the most? Now, I know some of you may be thinking some things like food, water, a car, a job, a house, etc. But to an average person, we rely on our hands. If we think about this from a logical standpoint, we use our hands for almost, if not all, everything we do. And now for an average person, that may be true. Yet for someone like me, that's not always the case. Because I have hands the size of a 10-year-old, and here is my hand compared to a calculator for comparison. Now, I have always had small hands, and today I'll be explaining to you why they are so small and how it affects me. So the women in my family were always very small, and on average, women are relatively smaller in size and height than men. Yet, it is very common for the women in my family to grow no taller than 5'4", which definitely contributed to me because I am very small. I'm only 4'11", and my shoe size is between a 5 and a 5.5. With that being said, a person's feet and hands are relatively similar in size, which is definitely the case for me. So at first, I was very self-conscious about my hands, and I started realizing how they affected me. My small hands made it difficult for me to do certain things. Yet, they were never a problem when I thought I was still growing. It became a problem when I realized at the end of my 7th grade year, I wasn't going to grow anymore. So, after the years, I started realizing how it was affecting me. When I would get a drink of any size larger than a small, it would make it difficult for my hands to hold the drink, and me nervous about dropping or spilling it. Not long after I realized they were small, I had a doctor's appointment, and I mentioned to my doctor that my hands were really small, and he agreed. So after he took a look at them, not only were they very small, but he told me that they were hypermobile, which essentially meant that my hands could easily be broken. So, I had to be careful in things I did, like sports or lifting heavy items. But I learned to embrace my hands. So, my hands will always be small. And today I've explained to you why they're so small and how it affected me. But what's the point in all this? We all have our insecurities, and whether a person accepts them or don't, that's okay. But insecurities aren't accepted overnight, and it took me a long time to accept them and turn them into a positive thing. So if you are wanting to accept an insecurity, just know it doesn't happen overnight, and you need to take your time.